Hi, welcome to Travels in Pictland. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's the end of the summer of 2023 and we're just catching the last few days of sunshine before the leaves start falling off the trees and acorns start coming down. The harvests are just in, and from what turned out to be a fairly cool summer, we've had a fantastic last sort of week or so. Anyway, thanks for watching Travels in Pictland. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is pretty much the end of season 1, although there may be one or two programs over the winter, but most of the Pictish trips and stuff can be done in the summertime. It's a lot harder to do in the winter. Anyone who's remotely interested in the Picts will eventually come across the word matrilineal, or they'll hear that the Picts were a matrilineal society. Okay, matrilineal. This is where inheritance, such as kingship, goes down through the female line, not the male line, which is much more common. And the Picts appear to have been quite unique in the British Isles and this part of Europe in being a matrilineal society. Now, we're not quite sure how that came about. There's various myths. But historically, the record of the Pictish kings has hardly any sons inheriting the kingship. The Pictish kings' lists, which are verified to be very old, in the Pictish kings' list, there's hardly any instances of a son inheriting the kingship from his father. And as we know, that royalty in early times, as in today, royalty tend to intermarry with each other and keep their lines fairly secure. But that meant that Pictish princesses could marry, say, Northumbrians or Scots, and Scots could become kings of the Picts. So, what other historic evidence have we got to confirm that the Picts were matrilineal? Because a lot of historians don't like the idea, because it makes the Picts slightly different. It makes women slightly more important in Pictish society than they were in other contemporary societies nearby. So, historically, apart from the king's lists, we've also got the writings of Bede. Bede was a monk living in Jarrow in Northumbria in the 700s. And he wrote a history of the British Isles and the people, much of it mythology, but he did say that the Picts were matrilineal. Now, Bede knew Picts. He knew Pictish churchmen. The Pictish church and the Scottish church and the Northumbrian church had been very close on and off for a long, long time. So he probably had Pictish churchmen as friends. So it would seem rather unlikely that he would come out and publicly make up a story about the Picts. So I personally am inclined to believe the Picts were a matrilineal society. I'll leave it up to your own discretion as to what you think about that. A few weeks ago I was visiting a Pictish stone called the Dunfallendy stone near Pitlochry, and I met a couple from New Zealand, and they'd been studying the Maori tribes, and lo and behold, there was matrilineal stuff going on with the Maoris. And it turns out with the North American Indian tribes as well. So, for all you doubters out there, I think you might have to think again, or at least come up with some better evidence than you've got, because it looks to me like the Picts were matrilineal, and therefore women played a high status part in Pictish society. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying Travels in Pictland. Hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you later.